The world isn't as friendly as you've been led to believe. Behind polite smiles and casual conversations, danger waits for those who are too eager to reveal themselves. Some information should never leave your lips. Not to your friends, not to your family, and definitely not to strangers. If you value your safety, your peace, and your future, there are secrets you must guard with your life. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 secrets you should keep to yourself. If you don't want to get killed, let's get into it. Secret number 1, your financial status. Your money is the first secret you need to hide deep. How much money you have, the place where you keep it, what you do with it. It's not about being humble. It's about staying alive. Today, showing off your money is the same as cutting yourself in seas full of sharks. The smell moves quickly. What comes after doesn't always show its teeth either. Some people smile, there are cheers. Some people ask you good questions. Do not be fooled, though. People will look at you differently as soon as they think you have more than them. You are not a person anymore. You're a sign, a living, moving reminder of what they don't have. The harsh truth is that most people don't want to be motivated by you. They want you to fail, so they don't have to try. They want to know that life isn't fair. And showing off your money, even in a small way, makes them hate you more. You make them more envious. They become angry because of you. They start to imagine a world where you lose everything when their anger grows. You might think it's okay to post pictures from your trip, that telling other people about your new car, job, or success is just celebrating life. But that party has become something else on social media. It's no longer a book of pictures. It shows the scores. And most of the people watching aren't cheering. They're keeping score. Every time you post, they do the math in their heads. That flight cost him $2,000. It costs at least $5,000 for that watch. He's out again? He must be making a lot of money. What starts out as interest quickly turns into quiet dislike. Wealth is the slave of a wise man, Seneca said. The boss of a fool. Smart people make their money do things for them. He is in charge. He doesn't let it talk for him or come into the room before him or any other time. On the other hand, a fool lets his money cry. He does it to feel good about himself, get compliments, and take over talks. He loses all control when he does that. You see, money doesn't just bring in buddies. Opportunists are drawn to it. People will come into your life and act like they care about your goals, dreams, and ideals. But all they really want is your money. Your jokes will make them laugh. They will like your ideas. Behind closed doors, though, they're planning how to make money off of your appearance. When you finally say no, they'll turn around. They won't want to borrow money, do favors, or be used right away. Because you were never a person to them. You were helpful. That's the risk of telling people about your money. When you set limits, people will no longer need you because they see you as a resource. In his book Meditations, Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept wealth or prosperity without pride and be ready to give it up." That's not just philosophical modesty, that's protecting yourself. Because when you care too much about the picture that money makes for you, you need other people to see it too. You start to broadcast, and it's always a mistake to share. When it comes to peace, the Stoics knew that it gets weaker the more you count on how other people see you. Every praise turns into a drug. Each like gives you a little adrenaline rush. Soon, you'll be hooked on being seen making money as well as the money itself. That's when you lose. Because you don't build alone anymore. Don't work in the dark anymore. When you haven't earned the right to be in the spotlight, you forget how dangerous it can be. Don't get it wrong. People kill for money in the real world. Not always in a physical sense. but in a social, professional, or emotional sense. Bad reputations are hurt. Businesses are hacked. People's careers are hurt because someone somewhere couldn't stand to see you get up. The worst part? It's sometimes the people you love the most. The ones who were happy for you when you got a raise. The people who raised a glass to your new home. The ones who were happy to tell you. Some of them didn't mean it. They could not wait for the day you would fall. When you did, they would be the first to say, "I saw it coming." That's why it's better to look like you're losing when you're really winning. Real wealth doesn't come out and say it. It makes a quiet noise. Rich guys don't try to show how much money they have. It's in the way they stand, the way they are at peace, and the way they are free. They don't have to talk about money because it does what they say. They don't need praise because they're in charge of their own thoughts and feelings. Stoicism shows us how to be in charge of ourselves. You decide what you share, what you say, and what you show. Take this into account. A lion doesn't roar every time it eats. It eats quietly. It is still and quiet. It gets stronger when no one is around, and when it has to strike, it does so without notice. That's how your money should go. In peace, with power, not seen by people who don't need to know. People start making up stories about you as soon as they know or think they know something about you. They start to think about who you are, what you owe them, and why they should have a piece of what you've made. So let them think less of you. Let them think you're barely making it. People will laugh at you when you don't post the cool stuff, because every second you don't say anything, you're making something they won't see coming. That's the real safety. Epictetus said, "Teach every harsh appearance to say, you are just an appearance and not absolutely the thing you appear to be." That is, you don't have to show what you have just because you have it. That level of access is not fair to the world. Don't show off your money. Don't talk more than you know. Do not show as much as you have. Remember that the most dangerous person. Secret number 2, your future plans. Each goal you say out loud brings in more people who are ready to see you fail. Sharing your goals with others might make you feel motivated, and saying your plans out loud might help you reach your goals. But people who talk don't get anything good in life. Those who finish get something. That poisonous feeling you get when you tell people what you're building is called expectation. And with hope comes stress, close attention, and meddling. All of a sudden, your view is no longer yours. It's up to what other people think about it. They think about it, criticize it, and if they're jealous, they'll quietly want you to fail. It doesn't matter how short your lapse is, they'll be the first to say, "See, I was sure he wouldn't make it." Some people will say things like, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" to try to stop you. That looks dangerous. Why don't you wait a little longer? They're not giving you advice, they're just showing you how scared they are. Their fear, what they can't do. And when you listen to their sounds, you get smaller. Other people will act like they are motivated for just long enough to steal your plan. While you were busy clearing the way, someone else has already started walking on it. That's the cost of being too exposed. When people know about your ideas, they can be used against you or copied. The Stoics had a deep understanding of this. A wise man once said, "Fools say what they know. Smart people know what they're talking about." That taught me more than just how to be humble. It was a tool. Never say more than you know to keep your energy, which is the most important thing, safe. Because your plan loses power when it turns into a conversation. You start to feel good about the response instead of the result. You give up a long war for a short cheer. Epictetus agreed with what was said. Be happy being thought foolish and stupid if you want to get better. He said, why? Because people don't think much of the fool who works alone, forgotten, left alone to build without being harmed. But people will fight against the man who tells everyone where he's going. Every person who knows about your plan is a vote, and most of them will vote for it to fail. Another thing is that if you talk too soon, the process loses its magic. Whenever you work in the dark, alone, and without anyone seeing, you take away from your own power. That quiet makes you smarter. It makes you do the work without any praise. Real discipline, the kind that doesn't need to be approved of, is needed. Some strong things happen when you keep your plans to yourself. You start to feel in charge. You move without telling me why. On your own, you fail. You change without judging. Each step is taken on purpose. You do not need to give anyone information. There's no need to explain your speed. You just put things together, in peace, without stopping. When you succeed, when the dust settles and the results speak for themselves, those same people who didn't believe in you, copied you, or paid attention to you, they will have questions when they get back. That's when you just smile and don't say anything. It's too late by then. Marcus Aurelius was both emperor and philosopher. He ruled a huge kingdom by being quiet and thinking. He wrote, "What stops people from acting moves things forward. What gets in the way turns into the way." He would have been crushed by the weight of 1,000 voices if he had wasted time defending every move and explaining every choice. He knew better, though. He didn't trust the praise, but the process. So don't share your dream, your next big move, or your secret plan the next time you want to. Why do you want to do this? Is it to show something? To feel seen? To be praised? Or is it because you don't believe in yourself enough to move without anyone hearing? Keep your ideas secret like holy books. Keep them safe like gold. The more noise there is, the weaker your eyesight gets. Make people curious about what you're making. Let them think less of you. Then when you're done and no one can stop you, let the sound of your success break the quiet. Secret number 3. Your fears and weaknesses. One strange truth about the world is that some people will try harder to break you if you look weak. These days, society romanticizes being weak, that you should open up, be real, and share your struggles. Vulnerability does have its place, but not here. Not in a world where people take advantage of your weakness like birds do when an animal is hurt. In a world where pain isn't always met with kindness, but with cold calculation, no. When you talk about a fear, a doubt, or an old wound, you're giving someone a gun that's loaded and believing that they won't pull the trigger. You believe you're getting through, but some people are building up. They use your pain against you like a weapon. They calmly wait for the right time to come along. They hit when you're high, when you're doing well, and when you can finally breathe easy. Talk about it, with ridicule, with breakup. Because you gave them the weapons. They got in because you let them. You believe they were interested. Marcus Aurelius, the ruler of the Roman Empire that could have fallen, said in Meditations, "If you are troubled by something outside yourself, the pain is not from the thing itself, but from how you think about it. You can change this at any time." People today forget what he knew. Your fears only have power if you give them to them. You have to give them air for them to live. They can only grow if you pay attention to them. Your pain, fear, and worry are not sins, but they're not money either. People won't respect you if you bleed in public. When you tell people you don't trust about your weakness, you don't get stronger. You give them a map to destroy you. That's why you have to bleed in silence. Heal in the dark. Take care of yourself behind closed doors. It's best to do it at the gym, alone, when your body is yelling. Write it down in your journal when your thought is running wild, and only you will be able to read it. Doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're building power that doesn't need to be seen. Epictetus, who was a slave and then a master of the mind, said it best: be quiet most of the time and only speak when you have to. He didn't mean to keep your shame inside. He was going to watch it, to keep it safe from people who don't always deserve to see how bad things are inside you. Not every person can be your doctor. Not every person is your brother. Also, most people are not on your side, especially if they smell blood. So don't share too much. Don't put yourself out there in a world that is already cruel. You don't have to tell anyone why you're having a bad day. If you're feeling lonely, quiet, or hurt, you don't have to say why. You can choose to remember some fights. Being a sore spot is not a beautiful trait. True strength, the kind that lasts, is gained by being alone. It was made for those lonely times when you want to scream but don't. When you really want to fall down but choose to get up anyway. That moment when you want to be understood, but choose to stay strong instead. You'll feel alone, you'll need to talk, you'll want someone to help you feel better. But don't mix up wanting with being clear, because most people won't be able to hold your weight. They'll just drop it and step on it when you're not careful. You will miss being with other people. You are going to want to talk. You will want someone to handle your problems for you. Clear thinking is different from wanting something, because most people won't be able to hold your weight. They'll just drop it and step on it when you're not looking. Because you're not by yourself. There are others who are controlled, quiet, and focused like you. We don't need sympathy. We need electricity. People shouldn't be looking at us. We want coats. Secret number 4, your family problems. Talking about your own blood hurts your case more than anything else. Nowadays, every fight is turned into a social media story, every failure into a blog post, and every family flaw into something fun to watch. But here's the harsh truth. When you say bad things about a family member, like a parent, a brother, a partner, or even a child, you hurt your own reputation as well. You might think you're right. You could feel lied to, abandoned, or hurt. But the more people hear about it, the less they see the betrayal, and more they see you as the issue. Strangers will judge you, and they won't understand what's going on, but they'll be happy to turn your pain into a joke. And people will keep bringing bad things about your family name. They will change the way they look at you. The stain will stick to you too, making you feel guilty by connection and ashamed by revelation. He said, when you wake up in the morning, think of what a gift it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, and to love. He didn't say love is simple, especially when it comes to family. He knew that love needs to be held back sometimes. That honor isn't always loud, and that quiet isn't always the best way to protect what's holy. Our family is a big part of who we are, whether we like it or not. We show a part of ourselves when we talk about their flaws. People think you're telling them how they hurt you, but what they're really hearing is that your bottom is broken. People don't offer support in a cruel world because they see weakness, and failure is a chance. That's why you need to fix what you can behind closed doors. Talk about those private things in secret. Try to understand, not get attention. Fix what can be fixed and learn how to separate, but don't disrespect. Epictetus said, don't explain your ideas. Take it on. It's not just ideas that follow this rule, it's also ideals. You shouldn't teach things like loyalty, patience, and discipline. They are meant to be used. And when your family fails you, when they let you down, when they become hard to love, your silence says a lot. It doesn't mean you let abuse happen. It doesn't mean you forget about your pain. It means you protect what's to come. You start a fire that will one day burn you when you tell someone about the problems in your family who hasn't won your trust. They'll remember more than just what your dad did. They'll remember that you were the one who told them about it. They won't only judge your brother for failing. They'll be confused about why you told them about it. There is a lot of power in being quiet, something tough, something good and right. It says, I could talk, but I'm not going to. They could be found out, but I'd rather keep what's left safe. You're not weak because of that. That makes you strong, because getting even is simple. We rarely use restraint. A man is as unhappy as he thinks he is, Seneca once said. Talking out loud about the bad things that happened in your family will never make the pain go away. You'll keep giving it food. Your identity quickly turns into the problem, not the answer. Stop the next time you want to tell someone what your mom did, what your cousin said, or how your family let you down. What do you gain? What do I lose? That's more important. When someone betrays you, sometimes the best thing you can do is say nothing. To work quietly on making something better, to change into the person they couldn't be. Let your strength get back at them. Be the roar with your quiet. We don't air dirty stuff here. We bury it, burn it, and then use the ashes to make something better. Now, for the last secret, the one that most people don't even know they should have kept. Secret number 5, your good deeds. In this world, good acts die as soon as they're shared. Once a holy act of the soul, kindness is now a business strategy. Kindness has changed into contentment. Now we get praise mixed up with meaning. You post it to help a stranger, you give money and tweet about it. When you donate, the picture of you doing it goes straight to your Instagram story, along with a fake humble caption. However, the truth is that it's no longer about the act when you talk about your kindness, giving, or charity. It's about you. It stops being good when it's about you. Seneca said it best. A good deed should be done on purpose, not to get attention. If you want attention, you're not helping. You're just putting money into your image. That's not being good. That is ego on the outside. Being good doesn't need to be seen. People don't need to follow it. It's not trying to get likes. It does not have any hashtags. It is what it is. And what's the risk of bragging about how good you are? It makes you a target. When people find out you're nice, like kind, helpful, or giving, they stop admiring you. They look at you. They figure out your limits. They stop being thankful when they come to you and start expecting something. This leads to a sense of privilege. All of a sudden, your good heart can help you. A bank, a session of therapy, a line for help. And when you finally tell them, no, I'm done, or I draw the line, they stop. They don't like you. Because you taught them that you were the one who could save them. Now they hate you because you didn't do your part. When you have done a good deed and another has received it, why do you look for a third thing besides these? Credit for the good deed or a return? Marcus Aurelius, who ruled the Roman Empire and still had time to think about his own soul. A good deed is valuable in and of itself. He was telling himself and us this. Not in the sound it makes, not in how loud other people clap, not in how fast everyone is aware of it. Because real kindness can't be seen. It lives in the dark where no one can see it. It means buying someone food without them knowing. It means checking up on a friend when no one is around. It means keeping the door open, complimenting someone, and being present, all without a camera in sight. You protect your goodness when you hide it. You keep yourself safe. There is no way for the users and manipulators to get to you. They are watching, waiting, and looking for easy targets. Cleanthes was a Stoic who was often overlooked by greats like Zeno and Chrysippus. He thought that virtue was quiet strength, not loud noise. He told them not to talk about how good they are too much because it makes the soul weak. And when you lose your soul, what you do turns into business, not a word. It's powerful to do something lovely and not tell anyone about it. That power makes you more disciplined. It helps you focus on your goals. It keeps your pride in check. Being kind becomes holy when no one sees it. You're not in need of approval. There is no need for a crowd. You start to be your own witness. That's when character really comes into its own. So the next time you do something honest, kind, or helpful, don't feel like telling everyone about it. Don't let praise poison your soul. Take the moment with you when you die. Let the person you helped tell the story. Watch how free you feel as the light you gave out never comes back to you. And if you've done that wrong thing before, if you've used your good works to get someone to like you or feel good about yourself, forgive yourself. We've all done it. Now is the time to change. Now is the time to be truly kind. Don't tell anyone. Living like a Stoic is like that. Not being cold, not far away, but quiet power. Character that is stable, doing the right thing even if no one claps. That's the last secret you should never tell anyone else. In a world where sharing is everything, sharing too much is the fastest way to hurt yourself. Every word you say should have a reason for being there. You should put a lot of value on every secret you tell. There's no need for you to explain yourself. You don't have to put yourself out there. You don't have to show anyone how your life works. They had one rule: if you master yourself, nothing else can. Do not talk anymore. Think about it. Watch what you say to protect your life. Remember that the quietest person in the room has the most power.